Hey guys! Welcome back to Likewise Pod. I'm Issa.
And I'm Sam, and we're so excited for another episode this week. And this one is super, super special, and it's one we've been waiting for a hot second, honestly. But we are so excited to do another guest episode this week. It is the return of guest episodes in our current Likewise era, and we could not be more excited that this week we are joined by Tessa D'Errico, one of our favorite indie authors and Instagram friends. We've just been interacting and becoming friends with over the last however many months, honestly. And so we're just so excited that she's here with us. So we're going to let her give her own little intro to you guys.
Hi, I'm Tessa. I'm a senior at Xavier University in Cincinnati. I've pretty much been writing my whole life. I never really thought I would write a book though. You know, I just always had like scraps of stuff and would like half written books. And I don't know what it was about. I just published my first book and I could have started writing it freshman year. I don't know what it was about it, but I finished it. So I decided to roll with it and publish it. So here we are now. I'm just having fun meeting Instagram friends like you guys and kind of just seeing where this takes me. So yeah.
I love that. That's so fun. No, I was actually thinking about that so much because I do remember like seeing you talk about how you spent like, I guess, yeah, about like 3 years writing the story. And I was like, wow, like I wonder, like, it just is so interesting to think about how that takes like time to come to fruition. And then I was thinking about that because then you're starting the next book, which we'll talk about later. But I was like, dang, like the timeline is just so different after you like do the first one to then just like move on.
Once you write a book, you're kind of like, it's like, oh, well, I wrote a book, so I can write another one, or like 1,500 words, that's a chapter, or like, I can't do it.
It's nothing.
So yeah, it's weird, but yeah, it's been a very exciting time in my life, so very thankful.
But before we get too much into that or asking Tessa too many questions, we're going to start this episode off as we always do with our roses and thorns. So Sam, you want to go first?
So, this is kind of fun. This is one of the first times that like we haven't written them down, so I have no idea what Issa's going to say. Okay, so I'll start with my thorn. If I talked about it a little bit, I just went on a trip to New Orleans and I came back and I left my room in shambles, and so I came back and it's just like so messy. Like my bed was covered in clean laundry and I just like had to try and put a bunch of it away so I could sit here. And then it's not that bad though. Like I have the weekend, but I did kind of just get thrown back into like having to go right back to work when I got back from my trip. So haven't had much time to like decompress, but my rose is pretty fun. It's also about my trip because it was so fun, but I feel like my life is complete because I went to like so many bookstores while I was there. And like that was just fun. Like I felt like I was with like the right group of people, with my sister and one of her friends. Like they just wanted to like do all the same kinds of things, and every night, honestly, my sister and I were in bed at 9:30 reading our books next to each other. So I thought that was really funny. But we did on Halloween there get tattoos, so that was kind of fun. Like I just like have a new one. So that's kind of random, but yeah, that's my roses and thorns.
Still haven't seen your thigh tat.
Oh, I thought okay, I'll send you a pic. It's kind of weird right now. Like I've never had a tattoo do this, but it's like fully like yellow, like bruised. Like my leg is just bruised. So I don't know what's happening there.
Yeah, because you sent me like a picture of like the drawing, but
oh
just
yeah,
not, like, the
I didn't want to give you a jump scare with like a picture of like the bloody like wrap. Yeah. So but yeah, okay, yeah, I'll send it to you after this.
Her.
Okay. How about you, Tessa?
My thorn is that it got really cold here this week. Like Halloween weekend was like perfect. I mean, it was like 60 degrees. Walking, it was the perfect like Halloween weekend temperature, and then like Tuesday, Wednesday hit, and it's been like 29 degrees in the mornings. We're fully in the winter weather, and it's whatever is it? I don't know. It's not daylight savings, is it? Is that what it's?
Yeah.
And so we're gonna lose sunlight this weekend, and I'm sad about that. But my rose is that of a very exciting weekend planned. I'm here with you guys this morning, and then I'm helping host a surprise party in front of my good friend tonight. So I am the distraction. We're going out for drinks, and then when we get back to her house, her roommate will have the whole surprise party set up. It's Taylor Swift themed because she's turning 22, so it's all red, and I'm really excited. And tomorrow I'm gonna sleep in, and it's gonna be great. Really great weekend planned.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
Love that. That's like the best role to play, like for a surprise party, is like being the distractor person. Because like, right.
Yeah.
Like you just get to like hang out with them and take them around, but then also like you got to be pretty good at keeping the secret.
I know, I don't think she's on. There were some pretty like contrived messages in our group chat, like, how does everyone feel about red velvet cake? Like, opinions? Like, even with all that, I don't know if she's onto us, but I guess we'll see.
Hopefully not.
That's so exciting. Honestly, I'm so sad that I am past 22 because I did not do a Taylor Swift birthday party for when I turned 22, and I really wish I did.
Oh, yeah, that would be fun. My thorn is that it was, like, just 10 minutes ago, dumping. Like, raining so hard, and I don't love that. Yeah, anyway, sorry. I feel so awkward. I'm, like, still waking up. And it's, like, so cold now, too. I feel like the transition from summer to fall was so fast, and, like, it was going from being, like, I don't know, in like mid 60s, 70s to now it's like 40 degrees. I'm like, brr, it's cold. So, yeah, don't live off of that. But my roses, actually I kind of have a lot, which is so fun. Yay, what a good week. Got to work again on Monday, Sounders game, so fun, loved it, because I missed the last 2 games of the season because I was with Sam in Nebraska and Denver. So, very bittersweet. Honestly, more sweet than it was bitter. But, yeah, anyway, so fun. And then my mom's birthday was so fun because she was born on Halloween. And so, like, Halloween is just, it's a fun time. And so last night, though, we went out for dinner for her because, like, my mom, or my dad, sister, and I guess my mom, too, like, we were all busy on her actual birthday. So we're like, let's just go out on Friday. We're like, cool. So we did that last night. That was fun. Oh my gosh, why did I not start with this one? Sorry. Going chronologically, it would have made so much more sense, but I didn't, so sorry. But on Saturday, I went up to Bellingham, so like an hour and a half north of where I am right now, for like 2 friends' Halloween party, and then I randomly saw someone that I work with there, and it was so funny. Like, he walks in with like this group of people, and I'm like, oh my gosh, wait, is that so-and-so? And so I call his name, and then he turns around, he's like, what? I go, what are you doing here? He goes, what are you doing here? Brother, I asked you first. And then he's like telling the story to like my friend who I'm there to see, because he knew someone who knew the people there, so like he didn't actually know anyone who lived at the house. He's like, yeah, I walk in and the group of people I'm with, like, they're all to my right, but I hear someone behind me call my name. I was like, what? These are the only people I know here. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. So that was interesting, seeing someone out in the wild like that. And then saw each other again on Monday, and we're just like, oop, hi. And he's like, we're not gonna talk about it. I was like, okay. That's it.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. That's always like weird, like a when worlds collide moment. But
yeah.
So
You're telling me.
so funny. Okay. Perfect. Well, since I want to talk about it before we did Roses and Thorns, I'm excited to talk about it again. First, I think Campus Crush, impeccable title for like a series. Like, Issa and I always talk about that with like whatever people name it, but I love that so much. Obviously,
it's so good.
Yeah, and we talked about. You published No Coincidences in the summer, and now we're here, and you're starting to write the following books, which is so cool. I'm so glad that it is more than just no coincidences, because like the more like Issa and I talk about it, I'm like, yeah, actually, like I need more of that. But I know like Issa and I have kind of refrained from talking about no coincidences on the podcast too much, like ever since we read it, because we were obviously hopeful that we could have you on, so we were like, we can't talk about it too much now because we'll like know more later. So we thought it would be fun if you wanted to give like a fun like rundown or synopsis for anyone who wouldn't know about no coincidences.
Yeah, so No Coincidences. It's like a young adult, new adult college romance. It's about this girl named Hallie, and it kind of follows her journey first 2-ish years of college, and just kind of like the ups and downs and finding herself. And, you know, she has a little beau named Reed, who she's on again, off again, on it. And so it's about their relationship, but also like Hallie's college journey, and just kind of about mental health and like finding yourself and like your place with your friends and your school, and also just like the American college experience and how weird it is.
Yeah. I love that. That was such a good, like, I don't know. It was like a sweet, it just brought me right back in. Like, honestly, I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, Issa and I were talking about how we both need to reread it, because I'm just like, wow, like, not that I've forgotten, but I kind of like, I'm like, do I even know what happened anymore? Like, as much as I'm like, yes, I love this book so much, I'm like, do I remember it? Because like, I feel like you hit a point where you're just like, you're obsessed with like the couple or like a friend group, and so like, you just like have them living in your head a little bit, but you like, yeah, that you just, it's so easy to just get in that kind of thing. But Issa and I may or may not be planning a like reread in which her and I are going to reread at the same time, and we may or may not be making that part of Likewise. We'll see how that all comes out. We've tried to do a book club before, and it did not
it was one
it did not
book.
go well. Yeah.
We just didn't do it ever again.
Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah, it's so hard, but yeah.
So I guess after that, we'll get into our questions that we have, and we kind of have a lot. So one thing that I did have though is like, so on your Instagram stories, like you didn't ask me anything one time, and someone asked like where you get inspo from, like for writing, and you said the crazy stories from you and your friends. So I was just wondering, like, was there anything in No Coincidences, and now, you know, from the sequels, you know, that you're starting to write, that like, was there anything that you got like directly from like your experiences or similar to an actual story from your life, or was it all just like inspired by situations and stuff? Does that make sense?
I feel like it always kind of starts as like, you're like, oh, this funny thing happened, and then like the more you write and like the more the characters become like their own people, like it turns into like, it has like the same idea, the same like start, but then it like goes in a different direction. So I feel like that's what a lot of it is. But one thing that like is something like my friends told me is a guy being afraid of beds. Like the whole idea is actually like something that I heard, because one of my friends was again, they like always hung out in her car, and then. And then one time she was like, I'm sick of the car, like into his place. He has a bed in his room, but they somehow settle on the futon and not the bed, which like okay, weird. Right. And then she says like, this is freshman year, so like we're in like freshman dorms, like stereotypical, like they give you the room on campus, like brick walls, like prison, freezing. And she's like, come over, and he's like, do you have a kitchen counter? And so we just are like, why would someone be like so anti-bed? Like there must be something wrong with him, or he must have a girlfriend, because like there has to be something to it. And that's how that whole joke started. Like, I have to use that in some way, because that is something I heard. The whole thing about like my friend's favorite bar closed for serving minors, but it wasn't at the end of the year. It was like to it. I think that would have been too poetic if it had actually closed at the end of the year, like it does in the book. Like that's just too good. It was not that poetic in real life. but it did. They took their liquor license, so yeah. And then I've never gone to Halloween karaoke, but me and my friends do eat up karaoke every time. We love karaoke, so I'm trying to find a Halloween karaoke maybe next year to live out the book.
I love that. Oh my gosh. That, honestly, much better answer than I ever could have dreamed up. I love that.
Right. No, I was thinking about that. I was like, that is not the lore that I was expecting to get from this. And that is like so funny. Like, honestly, like I thought it was just gonna be like, oh yeah, like this character's just like my friend. But like that's it. You know, like but that is that thing is hilarious.
Yeah, and then all my friends read the book and they texted me and they were like, oh my god, the thing about that, it's like why is that in there?
That is so funny.
That is so funny.
I
Oh my
honestly,
gosh.
yeah, that makes me think, like, I remember, like, reading it and being like, yeah, that's kind of random. But, like,
I mean,
yeah,
it's
that's
weird. Like, why are you so averse to a bed? Like, why? There has to be a reason.
There has to be a reason. Dang, I love that. Oh my gosh, I'm really excited for this question. And it totally doesn't even have to be from No Coincidences, but also, like, brownie points if it is. But just, like, in general, what's your favorite line or moment that you've written, and why?
It's hard for me to, like, a favorite. I don't know. I'm, like, really bad at, like, thinking about my own writing in that type of way, but some of my friends have, like, lines. The ones that people, like, bring up the most often to me are, I'm not drunk enough to talk to you. And, like, my friends, like, quote that to me. And I'm like,
That's funny.
and then the other one that people seem to enjoy, the reference when all the girls are like hiding on the bed and like the Sound of Music, they're like, they look like the kids in Sound of Music who were Thunderstorm. I get that one as people's favorites a lot, probably because I'm a theater major and people understand the reference.
Right.
But as far as like, I guess like my favorite moments are probably the ones I'm most proud of, like, and I feel like I'm pretty proud of any of the times where all of the characters are acting in like a big group setting, because it's kind of hard to juggle like who would be saying what, like where is everyone in the room, and like you kind of have to track it. So I'm proud of those moments. I'm also, I guess like my favorite moment is the they have after the bar, they as Reed and Allie, where she like slams his finger in the door of the Uber.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I one of the first things I wrote, and that moment, I like, that's one of the things that through all of the drafts and like through all of like, you know, changing their names and like that is one thing that I always had, and so that's been with me for a while, so that's my favorite.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I definitely need to do a reread because I'm like, I don't remember this. And then you like keep talking about it, I was like, oh my gosh, I do remember that. Oh man. So I guess kind of like when did you kind of feel like a real author, like, oh my gosh, I made it, like, this is the moment? I mean, not that you're not a real author when you write, but you know,
Yeah,
like the imposter syndrome. But
the first moment, like the day after like the ebook was published, you know, this like huge list of things that like I never did, like, and I had one of them was like create a Goodreads account, and I am a programmer, so I never did it because it's like the internet's like, you have to get approved as like a verified author account, and then you have to submit this and that, and I was like, oh my god, I don't have time for that. So like that was the one thing, like the day after my book came out, I was like sat down in it for the long haul, and I was like, okay, I'm going to make my Goodreads, make my book, like publish, like put the book up, whatever. And then I like emailed Goodreads like, hey, I have a book, and whoever from Goodreads emailed me back and was like, oh, it's already on, and like sent me a link to it. And so someone else who had read the book had already like submitted it as like, oh, I got this book and it's not on Goodreads yet. And like it was the summary, the cover, like everything. I was like, oh my god, that's crazy. And so I think that's the moment I was like, this is so crazy that like someone else besides me wanted to like see it on Goodreads. So a pretty cool moment.
oh my gosh, that's so fun.
No, that's actually so cool. Like, Issa and I, we love Goodreads. And I mean, like, I didn't use it a lot before, but like when I got back into like reading in the last couple years, like after college and stuff, I just like, I'm obsessed with it now. Like Issa and I, we kind of just like stalk each other on Goodreads all the time now. And now that we both like linked our like Kindle stuff to it, we like we read each other's highlights all the time because we're like, yes, what are you highlighting, and like what are you saying in the notes? But that's like so surreal. Like, I can't even imagine like how that felt, especially like having like kind of like that laundry list of like things to do and just having to be like, oh my gosh, like, wow, like this is already kind of one thing done for me a little bit. That's so cool. Wow. And then that kind of actually relates to this question a little bit. This order is just flowing. I've been thinking about this one a lot because I remember thinking it was so cool when you were like posting about having no coincidences in like a local bookstore. So how like did that feel to see it in a bookstore? Also, like, what was that process like getting your book in the store? Like, I'm so curious.
Yeah, so the bookstore in my hometown, Black Cat Books, it just opened up over the summer, and they put something on Facebook like, we're looking for local authors to feature. Basically, they're a little different than other indie bookstores. Like, you have to submit like email them and be like, hey, consider stocking my book, these are like my sales and stuff. Because they just opened and they like put out the call for local authors. They are like, hey, if you drop off books, we'll like with that I had to like sign up, almost like consignment like style. Yeah. So I just like drop off and they put their little tag on them and stock them and sell them so that they don't order it. Like, I drop them off, or my mom does because I'm at school. But it's really cool. It's very like weird. It doesn't sometimes like it doesn't even feel like my book. Like, I'm just like I have a copy on my bookstore and I'm just like, oh, what's that? And I'm like, oh, I wrote that. Cool. Like, what is that? That's my book. Really weird, but it's very cool. Like, sometimes my friends from home will send me pictures of them like shopping in the bookstore and they're like, oh, there's your book, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's really cool. Yeah, definitely like feeling like a real author moment like we were talking about. But yeah, I don't know. But then I feel like awkward going into the bookstore because I just kind of like, there's like a certain room and I feel like I'm just like standing in the corner of the room, like watching people go past it, and I'm like, do I tell them it's my book? Like, dude, like they're not gonna buy it. They look like they might buy it. Like, and then I'm like, I just can't even go in the room it's in. Like, I'm just annoying about it. I need to not look at it. I need to not think too much about it.
Okay, so note to selves: Sam and I need to make a trip out to Tessa's hometown and go to.
It's so cute. It's like every room has like a different theme, and it's so well decorated. It's like Allan Poe themed, like some of it. Like, it's so cute. It's in this like old house. It's a really cool store.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so fun. What the? I love that. Okay, so you talked about how your mom like will take books to the bookstore, drop them off every month. Like, how has your family been throughout like this whole thing? Like, are they like super involved, or have they just kind of been like, nice, go Tessa?
My mom is definitely like has read like every draft, is very supportive of like set up my TikTok shop, and she's making her book club read it next month, so we'll see what they think of it. My dad's not a big reader. I don't think he's finished it. He has like 25 pages left last time I talked to him. He's not a huge reader, but he's very supportive. We were all like, me and my family and then my roommate were in New York for this volunteer thing a couple weeks ago, and my dad was like at the bar like telling people to buy a book. Like, he was like going, people was like, my daughter wrote a book, you should buy it, and like send in like 10 pictures. And like we were at the hotel and I was like Dad, like stop. And like he'll just like go up to strangers and tell them to buy the book. So I mean, there's no way to tell on like, Kindle sales who is buying a book. Like, it doesn't tell you like besides what country they're from. So I don't know if it's actually working, is like sales tactics are working, but who knows? Yeah. And then my grandma read it, and my grandma, she was like, great job, loved the book. And I was kind of like surprised because there's some adult content in there, and I thought she would say something about it, but then she never did. But then I heard this story from my dad that my grandma was talking to like my great aunt, and my my second cousin, great aunt's granddaughter is in high school, so she's like thinking about college stuff. And so my grandma and my aunt are talking about college, and my aunt's like, well, she doesn't know, she wants to like live at home and commute, live on campus. And my grandma was like, just read the first couple chapters of Tessa's book, you'll know exactly why you shouldn't let her live on campus. Grandma, like tell me how you really feel. So apparently that's how she feels about it. But she's been supportive wise. And I guess I know she really read it. She's not lying. Yes. But those are that's the extent of my family's opinions on it, yes.
Dang, that's so... I was not expecting that. Like, I thought it was gonna turn into, like, something so wholesome of just, like, oh yeah, like, she, like, shouldn't miss out on, like, living on campus. No, okay.
No, absolutely not.
That's so funny.
I know, so I might just, like, ruined my cousin's chances at, like, being away, you know, like, moving out of the house.
That is so funny. That kind of reminded me a little bit of, like Issa's family. Like, her parents have, like, followed and, like, supported the podcast, and, like, I don't know how much they, like, I know they used to, like, actually listen to the episodes, but, like, my parents, like, barely understand it. Like, they don't even know, like, like, I'll, like, mention it. My mom's like, oh, cool, you're still doing that. But, like, it's not even, like, like, there's just not much thought there. So that was just funny. That reminded me also of, like, my dad. Like, I feel like, why is everybody's dad like that? Just, like, talking to strangers everywhere, like, tell them all about you, or, like, I don't know, like, my dad's always asking me, like, do you remember this person? Like, they went to your school. Like, I'm talking to their parents, and we're talking about you guys.
I know, my dad will just text me names, like, do you know so-and-so? And I'm like, maybe, kind of. And he's like, oh, their uncle, dad is at church or this restaurant with me. And I'm like, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better than my dad. My dad will be like, oh, do you know this person? I'll say, maybe. I don't know why. He said, okay.
Just no explanation.
That's it. Like, cool. Good talk.
Wow. I'm glad that there has been, like, so much support, though. Like, it's so sweet, like, hearing you talk about, like, your friends, like, you know, even, like, quoting things to you and, like, talking about it. Like, that's just so, like, this... I literally added this question yesterday, because it's so funny. And I had no idea what it even was. And by it, I'm talking about, like, the National Novel Writing Month. I saw, like, a thing in my Instagram Explore, like, halfway through October from, like, an account, like, promoting their own, like, side selling business for stuff for it or something. I don't know. I saw that and I was like, I don't know what this means. And so then I, like, looked it up and I went on the website, and I actually, this is so funny, I, like, signed up, like, I made an account because I wanted to, like, explore it and, like, look at resources and all this stuff, just because, like, I don't know, it's, like, not super, like, it's kind of a secret, but, like, not, because I talk about it to people all the time, but I'm like, I would love to, like, write a book, or, like, I love writing, and I have weird goals with that, but I get emails from it, like, every day, just like, it's not too late, add your word count, add how many words you wrote, like, every day. So it feels like the Duolingo, like, thing to me right now. But just overall, I'm like, wow, this seems so scary, but also so cool. So I was just curious to, like, what you're doing for it and how you feel about it. And I mean, if you've done it before.
Yeah. No, I've never done it before, but I'm, like, kind of, for lack of a better word, taking me ever since I was a child. Like, I remember buying, like, the, like, workbooks and stuff as, like, a kid, and being like, I'm gonna write a novel in November, and I'm, like, 12. Like, that's not gonna happen. So I've never, like, thought about doing it before, but now that I'm, like, more active on, like, Bookstagram, and, like, I saw people posting about it, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try it, because I have an outline for book 2. I have all of, like, the A plot outlined, which is kind of how I did No Coincidences. Like, my first draft was very, like, a lot of the stuff with, like, the friends, and parts were, like, what's going on with, like, Hallie and her friends, like, acting, like, what's going on with her and Reed. A lot of that wasn't in there, and so I kind of, like, just did, like, this is what I know needs to happen, and that was my first draft. And then I went back in and added stuff later, and kind of, like, fleshed some stuff out. But kind of my plan for this month, I have the A plot drafted, and I'm gonna try to get it done, even if it's really bad. The only thing you need to write is, like, just straight up determination. You do not need any experience or talent. You don't even need time, because so much between the hours of, like, 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. Like, you just need straight up determination, which I feel like I've been lacking, because I had the first draft of No Coincidences done, but I forgot what it's like to like be at 0 again and be like, I have nothing on this paper. I have 1,000 words in this document that's supposed to be an 80,000 book. Like, this is great. So I was like, just need a little kickstart. So we're gonna see if I can get done this November. I know some people have like rewards for themselves, like if they hit like 25,000 words, they have this reward for themselves. I don't have any of that, so I have no expectations. My expectations for myself are so low. Even if I write like 10,000 this month, it'll be better than where I was at this month. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
I like that. Like, not too much pressure, but kind of like, at least this way maybe I'll actually like get to some sort of word count and not still sitting at 0 or something. So that's definitely, I don't know, it seems fun, but also like wild, and I don't even know if I like could have been able to balance something like that like while a student, and like not even just a student, but like senior year. Like, I feel like it's hard to like, and especially doing like other activities and things, like, I don't know, keeping the world spinning and still taking the time to do your own thing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I mean, even right now, I'd be like, what the heck?
I've like trying to like replicate, like, okay, this is how I wrote the first book. I'm just gonna repeat the process, and then I try to like sit down and think about it. I don't know how I wrote the first book, actually. Like, how did I do that? I find the time, like, I don't remember. I think I just like blacked out for 2 years.
It's almost like you're writing your first book again. Like, you just restart the whole process.
Right, I'm like starting at 0. But it's exciting. It's like fun to be like writing a first draft again and like making discoveries and like planning. It's really fun.
So I guess if you can remember back to writing No Coincidences, or in this rediscovery phase of writing a novel, like, what's your favorite part of the process?
I don't know. I guess probably like writing something for the first time, or like revisiting it after a while, and like the moment where you're like, oh my gosh, I know exactly how to fix this. Like, it's so satisfying. Like, it'll just come to you like when you're trying to like fall asleep or like out doing something. Oh my god, wait, I just figured out how to fix that. You're like, oh my gosh, I have to go home and write that. Like, oh my gosh, I figured it out. And like, it's very satisfying to but like to initially like create the characters and like the scene and the idea is like more fun, but I think it's more satisfying to like in the editing process. It's kind of like a puzzle. Like, for No Coincidences, I probably like around this year, maybe like a little bit before, I was like in me and my roommate apartment, and I had these like note card, like these like thank you size card, like they were like supposed to like, you're like write things on them or something, and I bought a pack of them from Target, and I wrote Ian on them, the cards, and I like had them laid out in the kitchen, and I was like, okay, I can do this. There's something wrong with this. I need to reorder it. Like, I'm gonna figure this out tonight. And I was like moving stuff around, and I finally got it, and I was like, yes. Breakthrough. I got it. Had all the note cards that's laid out. I was watching Big Brother, and I was like, okay, I can do this. I have a renewed passion now that I know where this is going. So there's a lot that's exciting about writing, except grammar. Except for catching a typo in your book that you've published. Like, that's actually like the only not fun part about writing a book.
That is so interesting to me. Like, I love like hearing how other people's like brains work for their own like creative process, especially with writing, because I've seen like so many. I went in like a deep hole on TikTok of like authors and people being like, everyone says do this but don't, and like these are my rules, and if you want to like draft, like just write. My rule of advice is like, don't edit as you're writing, like just write the whole thing, like don't move things or whatever. And so like it's cool to like hear about how you like, I don't know, like put those cards out and like looked at them and we're moving them that way.
Yeah, I really like that.
I feel like that speaks to like your involvement in like theater and stuff too, because that really reminds me of like more like how that kind of stuff gets like put together and written too. So
yeah, no, totally. I in school, like what I've done in theater is directing. I feel like it's like weirdly very similar to writing, or at least how I write, because it's like this is, or at least maybe probably editing, I guess. It's like whether you have like your first draft or like your script, you're like, what I was given, and like it's my job to like make this translate to an audience and like figure out these characters, like what their intentions are, like what are they not saying, how does that affect like the story. So I feel like it is really similar, even though you wouldn't think it'd be that similar. Like, you know, people are like, oh, are you a playwright? And I'm like, no, never. I've never written a play. No, like I never had an idea for a play. I don't write plays. I like directing, so.
Have you ever, okay, this is like totally random question, with like No Coincidences, because sometimes like I'll read books where like sometimes some are like so much, like they happen to me as like a movie in my head as I'm reading it, and I feel like that really was like how it felt when I was reading No Coincidences, and I like love when that happens, because like sometimes I'll be reading a book and I have a hard time getting into it because like I physically cannot picture it like happening, but I was able to just like watch it all, and so much like it really took me back to like my own college experience, and like when I'd be reading it, I like felt like with like the bar, like I pictured like certain places, or like when they were going to like the house parties or whatever, like I pictured exact like houses, and I pictured exact streets and like halls for dorms. Like I just put like where Issa and I went to school into the story, which was kind of interesting. And so I totally lost the track of my question, but what I was gonna ask was like, have you like ever like pictured like your story being like a movie or something? Like, did you kind of think about it that way a little bit?
Yeah, I definitely pictured that. I mean, I think it would be like hard to make into a movie because I feel like so much of it happens like in Hallie's head. No, it could be a good movie with, I guess, the right team. But yeah, I did definitely like picture like where the action is and like how our people are moving from like place to place. And it also kind of, if you think about like writing visually, it gives you a lot of freedom, I think, because you don't have to like explain like things between scenes, like you have scenes in a chapter or whatever. I left my apartment and I got in my car and I drove my car and I got to the grocery store. Like, as if you're thinking about it visually, you can be like, I got to the grocery, like it's like blackout and you've seen, like I'm there. And I feel like it gives you a lot of freedom to think about a story that way. When I was writing, I was like, what month is it? And then I was like, I actually don't care. I'm gonna keep moving on. But yeah, I have like a like little playlist. I'm like, oh, this song would play at this moment if this was a TV show, and this episode would end here, and the next episode would start here.
Oh my gosh, you're speaking our language with that.
Yeah, like music really is like how we kind of like give everything meaning, I feel like. Like we just like love just like putting songs to everything, and I did love that in No Coincidences too, that there was like a song for everything.
Okay, this is my final question about No Coincidences in the Campus Crush trilogy. What can you tell us about the, either just the next book or the next two or just the third, what's to come in the future? What can we get excited for?
Well, in the second book, we have, none of them are like totally sane, like none of the girls are like totally normal. The one who's like above the rest of them and like doing better than them. So, happy to say we're gonna see that all fall apart, in the second book. And, she's a man from her past has showed up on campus and he's on the lacrosse team, and we know how Isabel feels about the lacrosse team, conflict of interest for her, and that's gonna be really fun. And book 3, the finale, has to be Addie and Ben, obviously. But yeah, what did I say about Addie and Ben? They're giving me a hard time. I struggle with them, but they the impending doom of graduation is gonna make them kind of have a timeline if they are gonna confess their feelings or not, because TikTok, they're gonna have to leave college eventually, so that's kind of their their crisis point, if they're gonna admit something or not.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I literally, I'm like, okay, Tessa, just give us the next 2 books already.
No, I'm crying. NaNoWriMo does well for me. This book done now, or at least it's a draft of it and like shelve it.
And I feel like now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, wow, like I can actually now realizing like as like fun as it is to like have these like extra characters and like know kind of the direction you want to take their like more like spin-off story and like follow up, then like the hard part is like having to like remember back and like know like how much info did I give about this person in book 1 and like what do we already know about them and what has happened, and like not, I don't know, not creating any like weird things where people are like, that's not what happened. But I mean, you can obviously like, I guess you do have the power to like change anything. And I like, you said earlier that you like decided like, you're like, actually I don't care what month it is. I like loved that in the book. Like the like timeline jump, it was like perfect. Like I was like, I don't care what happened in that time.
Also, I read something once, I don't remember where, like if you're in a romance book, the like protagonist and the love interest shouldn't be apart for more than 10 pages, otherwise the reader is gonna lose interest. Definitely thought about that when I was writing. I was like, I don't know who cares about what Hallie's during this jump. Like that's not important. Like I can summarize that. I do not need to show her being depressed for 10 months. Like no one wants to read that. You want to read about like the aftermath and like she's gonna overcome it. You don't need to read the whole thing. And then the book, like I saved myself about probably 20,000 words. So
Yeah, I read romance for the romance. I mean, and like the other stuff in there is great too, but
yeah, no, yeah. I feel like sometimes I'm reading a book and I'm like, sometimes you read stuff and you're like, good God, do these people have lives outside of each other? Like, do you have friends? Do you have a job? Like, what is going on with you?
I like that a lot. This is funny. Okay, so now I don't want to like turn completely off of like your book too, but what is a book or books that you would recommend to absolutely everybody? Just like some of your faves.
Normal People is one of my favorite books. I know it's kind of like people have mixed opinions on it. I really loved it. And it's honestly the book that like while I was in college like got me back reading regularly. Like that was like the first book I had bought in a really long time. So maybe I just have an emotion to it. But I really love Normal People. The other book that I'm constantly recommending, bear with me, is Persuasion by Jane Austen. And it's really good, but it's best if you've read one of her other books, because like her other books are so snarky. Like she's so good at being snarky, and if you read Persuasion and like compare it to her other books, it's so like so heartfelt, and it's like it just makes like it's so sad, and like reading about Anne, like you're just like, Anne, you, my poor girl, and like it's just so emotional. So I feel like you can really appreciate it if you've read like Emma and Prejudice, but I would recommend it either way. It's my favorite book.
I love that too.
oh, I love that. Okay, I might have to give Normal People a try. I'm just scared of it because it doesn't have like the, what is it, like quotation marks?
Yeah, you get used to it pretty quickly though.
Okay.
By the time you're like, you get used to like, I don't know.
Okay,
And I've seen so many interpretations of TikTok of like, oh, she did it for this reason. Like, you know, like to like blend the like lines between thought and speech. And I was like, I don't know if it's that serious or if it is. But yeah, you get pretty.
Those were like all things
Okay,
that have
good
like
to know. Good
been
to know.
on my list. Like I've always like, I love like classics and things, and I always wanted to read like Jane Austen, and I just like haven't, and I think I've just been too scared. But
Yeah, it is kind of intimidating, but I feel pretty easy read. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just like where I was at in my life, but like, because I was reading it for class originally, and I was like reading it, I was like, oh, I have to get this done, and then I got to like a certain point, and I was like, oh my god, I need to finish this, and I had to go like, I was in like our scene shop at the theater department, and I bought an audiobook. I could listen to it while I worked, because I was like, I need to know what happens next, and that's how it was in it. So there's this part where like, this isn't even a spoiler, like, so like, you know, like they haven't each other in a while, and like she like helping take care of her like crazy nephews, and you know they haven't talked, like her and the guy like talking, and her nephew's like hanging on her, like pulling on her clothes and stuff, just being really, and he like comes in the room and like pulls the nephew off of her and then just like leaves. And I was like, that, I put the book down. I was like, okay, that was the craziest thing that I've ever read in a book. Like, it's not at all, but the way she writes it, you're like, yeah, that was crazy. Like that, he's the one. Yeah, Mr. Darcy, no. Captain Wentworth.
Oh my gosh, I remember, this is like so unrelated but also not, because just like, you know, book boyfriends. I remember, so I started reading No Coincidences before Issa did, because she was reading, I can't remember what she was reading, but she had to like finish another book. But I was like, we were both so excited to read it, and I just like started. And I just remember like right when I started, I was just like, oh my gosh, Issa's gonna love this book. And I was like, I think Issa's gonna be like way like super attached, because I was just like, this is like the perfect book boyfriend for Issa. Like, I just remember like starting it and being like, oh, okay, because like Issa's huge into soccer, so I was just like, she's gonna love this.
Yeah, no, it was so fun. I was like, oh my gosh, obsessed. I love it.
Oh my gosh. Oh, the show, Normal People. Or yeah, that's the one that has the show, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I see. That's another reason why I like want to read it, because like I know it's like, well, one, I want to read a lot of books that have like controversial like opinions. Like if people are like, you either love it or you hate it, I'm like, I want to read it then. But I do really want to watch the show too.
Yeah, no, the show is really good, and I also think that like the show is an incredible adaptation of the book.
Okay, well, speaking of controversial opinions, this is something we love talking about. But are there any tropes that you feel like super strongly about, like could be good or bad?
Yeah, I don't love friends to lovers. I say this as someone who's planning to write a friends to lovers book. I don't know. I feel like when it's done really well, it's done really well. Like Love, Rosie, my favorite movie. And I feel like that is like believable, but I feel like sometimes it's just so not believable. I'm like, why have you two this conversation? Like, you've been friends for 10 years and you're both young, attractive people and you've never made out. I don't believe that fully. Like, I don't, it's really hard to buy into it because like, I don't know anyone in real life that's happened to. I actually know the opposite. Like, how many times you've been friends with someone and you're like, oh my gosh, like, this is going somewhere, and then you're like, oh god, that was an awful idea. No one ever is like, oh, we've just been friends for so long and I don't want to ruin the friendship. I just don't find it, I just don't, but other than that, I don't know. I have like a hard relation with tropes. I feel like, especially as like a writer, as a reader, I love tropey things, but as a writer, like a self-published book, I'm like, I don't feel like there are any like tropes or coincidences. And people like ask me for the tropes, and I'm like, oh, I don't know.
You tell me.
You tell me, right? I don't know. Like people ask me questions, and like I don't know when we became so upset. And like the thing, I don't like enemies to lovers, friends to lovers, second chance, yeah. But the micro tropes are really gets to me, and I'm like, micro tropes. You're just like things that happen in the book. That's not a trope. Like,
right.
You're just telling me things about your book, which is fine, but like micro tropes. Read the book. Like, I want to know what happens in the book. Read the book. And then if you don't like it, then that's fine. I don't know why people are so obsessed with it, but the general population has become so obsessed with needing to know everything that happens in a book to even consider opening it and or buying it. Like, it's crazy to me how much information people require to purchase something. I guess that's the world we live in, and that's why I respect the game.
The day, it actually took Issa and I like a long time to then just be like, oh my gosh, it's second chance. Like, we did not, because like I don't, everything is done so differently, but like I've found this year that I really do like second chance. And so, but at the same time, I'm like, I feel like every romance has some sort of element of it, I feel like. But it was just funny because it was when we were doing like our cliche sayings episode, and we were talking about something, we're like, let's recommend some second chance books or whatever, and then we were just like, Issa was like, oh my gosh, I just realized that like this like direct like cliche saying or whatever, she was like, that reminds me of No Coincidences, and I was like, you're so right. And I was like, I didn't think about it as second chance, but I guess it is if we're like saying this like works.
Yeah, what it aligns mostly with. But also, I feel like second chances, not to sound like lazy, but like I feel like it's hard to explain like exactly how like a couple dates start as strange, but I guess they do, no coincidence. But I felt like I had to include that because I feel like if you didn't read about the first part of their relationship, you wouldn't understand why they would even with each other, you know, after reconnecting. But yeah, it's a good way to like, you know, to establish that like two characters have a pre-existing relationship is a good tool because it lets you let a lot slide because you're starting. But also, you know, they tell you like in writing to like start late and end early. Like you don't want to give the reader more than they need to know. So
no, I love that 'cause it is hard to like feel like you have to like, I don't know, like dwindle down like your like book you worked so hard on to like words that are gonna like make people want to read it, because you're like, it's not just that, you know, because like there's so much, like there's like all the layers and the complexities, and it's more about like finding yourself and growth, and like there's so many like other things where it's just like, it's really not, this is not what it's all about, but this is what's like everyone's just looking for, like, is it enemies to lovers, is it friends to lovers, or the microtrips thing is so funny to me because I've been seeing that too. Like you like go to like the slide and the like, things with the arrows, and I'm like, I don't even know what this like means to me. Like it's just like bakery, okay.
It's not a trope. Okay, cool.
Right. It's so funny.
Yeah, and I thought it was so funny, like, because you're totally right. Everyone is like always wanting to know every little thing about the book before they start reading it, and whereas like me and my friends that read, I know almost nothing about any of the books I own until I read it. And then even after I read it, I'm like, I don't know what I just read, but I do know that I loved it, or I do know that I hated it. So
right, exactly. And it's like you have to make an informed opinion and read the book and find out.
Right.
Yeah, and buy books because the covers are cute.
Covers are cute, the back's interesting. Because if you think like your favorite books, like, and like what the back cover probably says, like it's not a lot, like it's not that.
Yeah.
It's like, marketing the book to you, but it's not going to give anything away.
Yeah, it's like you made that a much bigger deal on the description, on the synopsis of the book, when it's like maybe 2 pages out of like 300.
Yeah, no, that is actually something I learned about like Issa this year too, is like that she does like go into like most books blind. And so it's been funny now that her and I have like gotten into trying to like read like more like arcs and things like that, and we'll like send each other Instagram posts with like things where it has like all the info and we're like, oh cute, but then like we find that we're always like reading things with like zero idea of what's really happening, or like, okay, we both like we'll do like book of the month or whatever, and we always tell each other when we picked our book, and it's like, oh, which one did you pick? And I'll be like, oh yeah, like I was gonna pick that one, but I like, because I'll go and read the descriptions of the ones I'm like interested in. I'll just be like, yeah, but then it said this and I got scared, and he says like, oh, I just kind of picked it. Oh, I'm really looking forward to this question. This is so funny.
Oh, me too.
So back honestly a while ago, whenever Issa and I were doing our friendship breakup episodes,
oh gosh,
Tessa DM'd us and was just like, if you're ever doing a friendship breakups part 3, like let me know because I've got a story. And so now we're like,
little did she know that we already wanted her on the pod though.
right, no, we talked about it all the time. Like we even started like making like docs like this to just be like, we need to start like putting questions we want to ask people, because then if they say no to being on the podcast, we could at least like maybe just do some sort of social media thing or whatever. Some people don't like stuff like this. But yes, we're so curious for your story.
This is the story. Okay, so and a really good friend, like very close friend. I have like a large, like 6 of us, like girls. We like lived together sophomore year. We're all really close. And you know, like we have like our ups and downs, but like generally we're all pretty close to each other. So there's this one girl in our friend group, this guy. It always starts with a guy, right? You know, like
Yeah.
It always starts with a man. So she's talking about this guy she matched with on like Tinder or something. Go over and like, you know, to his apartment. It's like Friday night. And we're like, okay, have fun, slay, you do you, girl power, queen, hop off. So she leaves. then like Sunday at dinner time, we're like, hey girl, we haven't seen you since Friday. Are you alive? Are you okay? And she's like, yeah, and I'm so good. We've just been hanging out. And we're like, maybe come back. Maybe to our room. We're worried about you. And she's like, yeah, he's gonna drop me off. And we're like, okay. And so like Xavier is like 10 minutes from downtown Cincinnati. And so we're tracking her on Find My Friends, and like we see the car like pull up in front of our dorm building and then like make a circle and start going downtown Cincinnati. And we're like, hey girl. And it's like midnight, and she's like, he just wasn't ready to like let go of me yet. Like we wanted to keep talking. So we're just driving around. So we're like tracking them, and they get on like a highway, and they are driving towards Columbus, which is 40 minutes from Cincinnati. Just going north. Just a little drive. They're going north. They just keep going and going and going. And we're like, hey, where are you going? And she's like, oh, he just loves driving. Like, we're going to, instead of just like sitting and talking. I drove to Columbus and back in like the middle of the night. And so after that, I'm like, this is not like, this is crazy person stuff. Like, this is not. So we ended up getting into a fight in the cafeteria. Because she was like, she's like, yeah, his first date, he's gonna take me to Chicago, which is probably like a 6-hour drive from Cincinnati. That's a weekend getaway. Like, that's not a date. I was like, girl, let him take you to dinner first. Like, have him buy you dinner before you start driving to Chicago. And she was upset. And then this is like the summer goes by. This is like the end of sophomore year. So junior year starts, and me and my roommate lived in an apartment, just the two of us. And then our lived together, or most of them, and she lived with them. And all of this, you know, we're like cautiously optimistic, like maybe her and this guy will break up, but no, they're still together. One day she came over, yeah, he's gonna buy me this Tiffany necklace, and I was like, okay. We were distant because my opinions, which is fine. But you know, she's in the friend group, she had friends, whatever. Her boyfriend lives next door to me and my roommate, and one day she came over after I broke up, crying, and we were watching a movie, like put on a movie to cheer her up, and there's like 13 minutes left in the movie, like some like not a lot of time, and she's like, I'm so tired, I have to go home right now, I'm so tired. And I'm like, why wouldn't you just wait for the movie to be over? That's really odd. So I check her location, and she's next door. And then I saw her the next day, and I was like, oh, did you ever, like him, because the night before she said she was never going to talk to him again. I was like, oh, did you, but he was just texting her, and she's like, did you ever respond to any of his texts? I was like, no, I'm not going to talk to him for a while. And I was like, okay, you just lied to my face, I'm done. So I was pretty much done. And this is like the meat of the story. So she came into her room with him one day and was like, grabbed a backpack and was like, we're going on a date, and left. And so the girl she lived with, like, fine, cool, whatever. I was, you know, stalking people on Find My Friends, which is my favorite hobby, and her location was, like, located not found. And I was like, that's funny. That's really funny. So I texted my friends, and they're like, I don't know, going on a date. And I was like, okay. So don't think anything of it. She started going to, like, one of those, like, interactive, like, art exhibits downtown. Oh. One of those. So her boyfriend posted a picture on his Instagram story of like the view out of an airplane, and I'm like, huh, that's why her location is off. She's crossing state lines. And I was like, weird. And so I had one friend who's a lot bolder than me and was closer with her, text her like, hey, you know, me and Tessa are hanging out at the apartment right now, like, do you want to come over? And she was like, no, like, we're on a date. We're at the interactive Van Gogh, whatever, exhibit downtown. And we know she's lying. And my friend is like, well, I want to go. It looks cool. Like, send pics. She sends a link to the page, like the website link. So we're like, oh my God. So we tell our other friend, and she's her like, why is there a picture? Like, why are you at the airport? Why is there a picture? A plane, like, what are you doing? And she was like, no, we're at the art exhibit. I guess I should mention, friend has a small following on TikTok. He's a really big, like, baseball fan. He's obsessed with this, like, one baseball team, and he posts about them. So apparently he posted an old picture because he wanted his followers on TikTok that followed him on Instagram to think that he was going to this baseball game. It's all a trick. It's all a trick. Oh. So we start pulling up where we're Just out of curiosity, where is this team playing today? Do they have a game today? Oh my gosh, they do have a game today. It's in Miami. There was a direct flight to Miami from the Cincinnati airport, and oh my gosh, let's look at his TikTok. He posted his TikTok. He's clearly in an airport gate, and you can just barely, like, behind him, barely in the background, see, like, the top of this girl's head, and we were all like, that's her. Like, she has, like, a very distinct, like, highlights, and, like, we were like, that's her. That is the top of her head. So my one friend texted her, I'm like, I know you're in Miami, like, stop lying. And she was like, yeah, it was a surprise. I thought we were the art exhibit, but he took me to the airport. That's kidnapping. And then she was like, well, just don't tell Tessa, because I know she's going to judge me. And I was like, okay, well, I already know. But I did not talk to her again after that. And then one time, like, months later, her and the boyfriend broke up. They're now again, but they were broken up. And my one texted her to, like, check in and was like, hey, just out of curiosity, like, different ever, like, you know, you really just stopped being friends with us when you started dating him. Like, are you okay? Like, did he, like tell you to stop being friends with us? And she was like, I was just kind of sick of you guys, and, like, I didn't want to be friends with you. And he actually encouraged me. Like, he thought I should get out more, and he, like, encouraged me to, like, go out with you guys, but, like, I just never wanted to. Like, I just really was done with you all.
Oh my God.
So, yeah. But I don't even know, like, I see her all the time now. It's fun, but... And it's, like, fine, like, we, like, just... The line about Miami is just the funniest thing that's ever happened to me. Like, anytime I see, like, an ad for one of those stupid Van Gogh exhibits, I send it to my friend. And then the next day, she posted it, like, she's like, Disney photo dump. And it's, like, pictures of the two of them in Disney. Like, Disney, like, Orlando and Miami aren't even closed. How did you get to Orlando? It was crazy. It was mad.
Also, like, who has the time to just do that, like, during college? Like,
we had, like, a 4-day fall break. Like, we had, like, Thursday and Friday off for fall break. They went to Hawaii. What? For 4 days? Why? Anyway, I don't understand it. I don't pretend to understand it. She's living her best life.
Oh my gosh. Wow, so common theme throughout this episode, much better answers and stories than I ever could have dreamed up. Oh
no,
my
actually.
gosh.
At the beginning of that story, like, the very first time when, like, she left and, like, you guys didn't hear back from her, and it was like, you good, you alive, whatever, and she's like, oh yeah, we're just going this, and then they're driving, like, far. Like, I was like, that does, like, remind me a little bit of, like, some of our friends from college, like, maybe something they would have done. But, like, then it just kept going, and I was like, I did not think this could get more extreme.
I know.
And that is definitely not.
I really thought it was like a kidnapping story.
Yeah, no, that's how... I remember one time I was telling this to one of my friends, like, not in my direct friend group, in, like, a class, and my professor was, like, overheard me, and he was like, do you need to call, like, services? Like, this is not normal. And I was like, I know. No, no. I'm aware of how crazy this sounds. And she was so normal before this. Like, I would have never, and there are people in my friend group, like, if you had me, like, rank my friend group on, like, who run away to Miami with a man, people would be above her. And they know that. Like, you know, like, there are people who this would be, like, in their character. So when she did it, it was, I don't know, it was really shocking.
That is so wild.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I don't even know how to, like, move on from this. Well, okay.
Glad we've hit that
Definitely
last.
glad that, yeah, because I almost suggested, like, we move it, like, first, because, you know, friendship breakups, we were like, relating back, but no, definitely glad we kept best for last. most chaotic for last, for sure. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, the way we end every episode is with our song of the week. So this can just be a song that you're like, oh my gosh, this, like, describes my week, or wow, this has been on repeat, or you know what, doesn't have to have a rhyme or reason, just be like, yep, this is it. So, and you can also have, like, more than one. Like, the world is your oyster. The world of music is your oyster. So, what are you guys' songs of the week?
I've been listening to The Good Witch by Maisie Peters a lot this week because it was, like, mean. So it was, like, but also, like, the album and, like, the song The Good Witch. I feel like it's, like, a great, like, walking to class song. I'm just like, woo. You know, it's, like, kind of depressing lyrics, but, like, peppy enough to walk to. So that's my song of the week.
Ooh.
I like that. That's a good one. Okay, I actually did not think about mine very much. So now, I'm just gonna pick, this is kind of funny. It goes with our theme of talking about friendship breakups at the end. I love Now That We Don't Talk from 1989 TV from the vault. Like, it just, like, that's my favorite vault track, I think. I really like it. And 1989 is my favorite Taylor Swift album. So it was just, like, the perfect, like, week. And the album came out, like, the day that I had to, like, travel. It was, like, my travel day. And I was like, nothing is more perfect. Because also last year, this time, Midnights came out on one of my travel days. And I got to, like, listen to it for the first time, like, on the plane. And, like, so I was like, oh my gosh, I get to do this again. And so it was just perfect. And I love that song. And it reminds me of my history of friendship breakups.
Oh my gosh, I should probably listen to 1989 TV. But my song of the week is Somebody's Gonna Love You, 2023 version by The Wildlife. And I was telling Sam this, like, we were snapping before we got on a FaceTime. And I was like, oh my gosh, listening to Somebody's Gonna Love You 2023, and I have actual tears in my eyes. What is going on? Like, I don't know. It's so funny because I feel like before what? I don't know. Like, I don't know. Things like that, like songs don't really like make me cry or like make me emotional, but for some reason, like lately, like this year, last year or something, like I like get tears in my eyes at songs. I'm like, this is so random. It feels so random. Like this, I mean, anything particularly special about it? No, but there are tears, so I guess it's a 5 out of 5.
Actually, I don't know if I've listened to it yet. Fake fan.
It's so good, Sam. You would love.
I wanted to, but then I like forgot to download it, and I was like on the plane and I couldn't listen to it. It was really sad.
Fair.
Wow, I love that. Wow, those will be good additions to our Song of the Week playlist. And this is so funny. Tessa's song being Maisie Peters made me think about how, like, a couple weeks ago, my song was Maisie Peters, and Issa called me out because in college, like, there was a period of time where, like, I told her that I was like, I don't like Maisie Peters. Like, it was, like, a thing. Like, back in college, I was like, I don't like her. Or, I was like, I like her, but I just wasn't into her music. And then now I just, like, love her. So it's just so
she has
funny.
a very different sound
I turned
now,
a corner.
though.
No, she totally does.
She does.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I just thought that was funny. I didn't mean to like call you out, but also I was like,
No, but
Sam,
it was
accountability.
funny. It was really funny. It was good.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
This was so much fun. Oh my gosh. I love it.
Thanks for having.
No, I feel like
Thank
being
you.
like kind of Instagram friends has been like, it's been so fun. I feel like we know you, but also I was like, oh my gosh, I hope we're not coming off too strong. Like, we're super fans, but also we don't want to be like creepy super fans.
You're not creepy at all. I'm your creepy super fan. I am likewise God's creepy super fan.
No, yesterday I was telling Sam, I was like, oh my gosh, wait, I forgot to ask for like her contact info so that we can like get her on the FaceTime. And then you gave us your number. I was like, oh my gosh, now we can put a celebrity's number into our phones.
No.
I was like, oh my gosh, Isa.
So funny. We like do an episode talking about how like we think like interpersonal relationships are like messed up, but then like we catch ourselves being like, yes, like we know this person, we know their life.
It's only messed up when it's not us.
Exactly. No, I feel the same way. Like, I will like Twitter DM people all the time that like I follow and like ask things, and then one time someone tweeted like, it's crazy that like just because like I wrote a book or I do this or that, like people think that they can like DM me. And I'm like, I just so do that all the time.
But like, why not? You know, like
you just don't have to respond.
I've been trying to get more into doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. I also like don't think it's that weird when people DM me.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's fun.
Yeah,
Like,
I
want to
know.
talk.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. I know. It's like if you really don't want someone to DM you, then I don't know, like put it on private, like turn it off, or like don't respond. I don't know. Interesting. Yeah.
I feel like I learned so much.
No, I know. This was like honestly way better than I thought it was gonna be. Like I didn't think it was gonna be bad, but I was like, cool.
Well, we did have our last guest episode we recorded in person, and Issa and I never record in person since we like don't live in the same place. And so that was just like a shock in itself. So then we were like, how do we talk and balance a guest like when we're all three sitting in the same room? Like it was just like weird. Like we were just like, you talk now? I don't know. Like it was just like it was funny, but this like just I don't know, so natural. And it's funny too because there were so many things that reminded me of like things Issa and I do, or like our like future goals and things, and I was like, I want to talk about this, but I'm like, I can't. It's secret. I can't bring up our secrets. And so I'm like, okay,
That
we
sounds
will
so
tell you our
ominous.
secrets later. No, I love saying stuff like that though. Like I want people to be like, wow, they have secrets.
Well, at all our
But
secret
we will spill our
projects.
secrets too, just not now. Not on record.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, so that's all from us this week. Still listening. Thank you so much. And just, make sure to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and like wherever else you can rate and review, I guess, just so that more people can find us. And also follow us on whatever stream platform you use and on Instagram at likewise_pod. So fun, so cute. Live, laugh, love it. But yeah, this honestly, time of my life. Loved it. But yeah, Sam and Tessa, I just hope you guys have a really great rest of your day.
Oh, thanks, Issa, and likewise to you all.
Bye.
Bye.